Prime Minister, dear Justin, Mr. Speaker of the Senate, Mr. Speaker of the House, Excellencies, Senators, members of the House of Commons, distinguished guests, people of Canada, thank you very much for welcoming me to the heart of Canada, the home of Canadian democracy. They say hard times reveal true friends. And this is what the European Union and Canada are. True friends. The history of our democracies is tied together. So many Canadians have their family roots in Europe. Many of your parents and grandparents have fought in Europe during 2 world wars. They were sent to faraway places on the other side of the ocean. Tens of thousands of them lost their lives in the trenches of Belgium, in the heat of Sicily, on the beaches of Normandy on D-Day. I am a European of German nationality. It was German Nazism and fascism that brought death and destruction upon Europe and the world. But it were Allied forces that brought liberty back to all of us. The united democracies freed us from dictatorship. Thus, we owe our democracy also to you, the people of Canada. And we will be forever grateful for the sacrifice your parents and grandparents made, and for the invaluable gift of freedom. Today, almost 80 years after the end of World War II, the values of freedom and democracy are still a strong bridge between the two shores of the Atlantic. You, the people of Canada, have built this country as a community that is open to all, beyond ethnicity, language, or religion, a true community of values. And it is the same spirit that brings us Europeans together. 27 proud countries, 24 official languages, in one union, almost 500 million people, the European Union. Today we are a community of values, and together we are a community of destiny. The more painful it is that the very values that unite us are challenged today like never before. 1 year ago, Russia sent tanks, drones, and missiles over the borders and against a sovereign and peaceful country. Since then, countless lives have been shattered. Countless families separated. Hundreds of thousands of young Ukrainians had to kiss their loved ones goodbye and left to the front to fight for freedom. Millions more had to leave not only their homes, but also their dreams behind. All of this because President Putin refuses to recognize their freedom and their independence. And this we can simply not accept. We will never accept that a military power with fantasies of empire rolls its tanks across an international border. We will never accept that Putin denies the very existence of Ukraine as a state and as a nation. We will never accept this threat to European security and to the very foundation of our international community. And I know that Canada's commitment is just as adamant as ours. Canada and the European Union will uphold the UN Charter. We will stand up for Ukraine to be the master of their own future. Nothing about Ukraine without Ukraine, and we will keep supporting Ukraine for as long as it takes. Canada has a very special connection to Ukraine. Many proud Canadians are also very proud of their Ukrainian heritage. And you understood the gravity of events in Ukraine before many others, including many Europeans. In 2014, Putin invaded Ukraine for the first time. Already back then, Canada decided to set up a training mission for the Ukrainian military. Operation Unifier has trained over 35,000 Ukrainian soldiers. And this has proven to be vital in the hours that followed the full-scale Russian invasion of last year. Putin believed that he would get Kyiv within 3 days. What a strategic mistake. Ukraine's resistance has stunned the world. That was primarily, of course, because of the courage of the Ukrainian people. But it was also, and crucially, because of the professionalism of the Ukrainian soldiers, many trained by Canada. And I cannot overstate this. Canada has saved Ukrainians in the first days. I want to thank everyone involved in Operation Unifier for your amazing service. Canada's response to the war in Ukraine has gone above and beyond the call of duty. And I'm so grateful, dear Justin, for your constant close cooperation during this year. Everything we did for Ukraine, we did it together. Because we believe that Ukraine and the values that it strives for must prevail in this war. First, we believe that Ukraine deserves our steadfast military and economic support. The support package that Europe has put together with almost 100 billion Canadian dollars is unprecedented in living memory. Canada is also contributing well beyond your fair share. And now European military trainers are working side by side with Canadian trainers. Second, we believe that Russia must pay for its crime of aggression. Sanctions have been closely aligned since day one of the invasion. And now, because of our common price cap on oil, Russian proceeds from crude oil and petroleum products have plunged by 48% in February from a year ago. And third, we believe that Ukrainians must be the masters of their own future. They have a right to choose their association, and Ukraine has made its choice. They want to be member of the European Union, but Putin wants to force Ukraine to be part of Russia. He has achieved exactly the opposite. Today, Ukraine is a candidate country to join the European Union, and Europe is leading the effort to help Ukraine rebuild their country. And Canada is a key partner for this, focusing not only on infrastructure, but also on healing the physical and mental wounds of Ukrainian victims. And we cannot ease their pain and suffering, but we can ease their healing. And I thank you for that. This is what it means that Europe and Canada are like-minded partners. We share the same purpose, the same belief, and this is true not only for our governments, but also for our people. Think about the way Canadians and Europeans welcomed Ukraine refugees. When Ukrainian refugees knocked on our door, Europeans and Canadians did not hesitate for one moment. And today, 4 million Ukrainians live and work inside our union. The people of Europe have opened their hearts and their homes, and the same is true for the people of Canada. You are now hosting more than 165,000 Ukrainians, an incredible amount for a country on the other side of the ocean. But beyond the numbers are the stories, your stories. Stories of heart-wrenching separation. Stories of dangerous flight to safety. Stories of finally a warm embrace here in Canada. And I know that some of you are with us today in the gallery, so please join me in honoring all of them, all the Canadians who make this country a country of solidarity and hope. Mesdames et messieurs,
ladies and gentlemen, war has also brought Europe and Canada closer together for another reason. Before the invasion, Europe was extremely dependent on Russian gas, and Putin tried to use this to blackmail us. Russia cut off 80% of the flow of gas to Europe over 8 months. And European energy prices skyrocketed. Last summer, our energy bills went up by 300%. But Putin's blackmail failed. We replaced the Russian gas with more imports from reliable suppliers. And Canada played a key role by increasing its liquid natural gas exports. Meanwhile, we improved our energy efficiency. We reduced our energy consumption by 20%. And most of all, we massively invested in renewable energies. Clean, local, renewable energies that offer us energy independence. But our work cannot stop there. The future of energy is renewables. Therefore, our partnership with Canada is crucial in order to speed up the pivot to clean energy. Canada and Europe are global leaders on climate action. Our climate goals have been enshrined in law. We have created a system for carbon pricing. And we have proved that we can both develop the economy and reduce emissions. However, new challenges are now facing us. The global race for clean technology has started. There is increasing competition to attract investment and to control the most critical links of key supply chains. In this more competitive environment, Canada and Europe must be playing for the same team. Vital supply chains must not be controlled by autocratic powers. We Europeans learned that lesson the hard way. Democracies must work together in order to reduce risks. It is a matter of national security, and our values are also at stake. Let us consider commodities. Canada is a natural partner for us due to the minerals that you extract, but also because of how Europeans care about the environment and about labor rights. We want to ensure that local and indigenous communities can benefit from our investments. And that's exactly the case in Canada.
En matière de valeurs, le
Canada and Europe also share the same language of values. Let us work together on climate, on the economy, and with the goal of freeing ourselves from our dangerous dependencies.
2 world wars, the world declared that all human beings are entitled to equal and inalienable rights. But today, some powers are explicitly trying to destroy this basic principle. I was in Bucha, right after its liberation by Ukraine's army. I saw the body bags lined up by the side of the street. I heard the stories of rape, of executions in cold blood, carried out by Russian troops. And Russia continues to commit atrocities, bombing civilians, striking the most vulnerable. The United Nations says Russia is using rape and sexual violence as part of its military strategy in Ukraine. This is not only a war on Ukraine, it is also a war on human rights, and it is a war on women's rights. But Ukrainian women are fighting back. They have been fighting back ever since 2014. When the first Russian invasion happened, women were not allowed to carry out combat duties. But they did not care, and they started joining the army. Let me quote Lieutenant Colonel Melanie Lake of the Canadian Armed Forces, who led Operation Unifier, and she is with us today somewhere. She said, and I quote, Ukrainian women did not wait for doors to be open for them to serve in all capacities. They broke the doors down. End of quote. These women also smashed a glass ceiling right over the head of the Russian invaders. Since the start of the war, the number of women serving in the military has more than doubled. And it's not just about women in the army. Millions of Ukrainian women are standing up for their children's future in freedom. One Ukrainian woman above all has become a global symbol. The First Lady of Ukraine, Olena Zelenska. She stayed in Kiev in the darkest hours. Together with her husband, she's emblematic of the courage of the Ukrainian people. I saw her in action on the global stage as an advocate for her people, especially those most vulnerable. An unbreakable force for good. These women are an inspiration for all of us, and I want to honor them on the eve of the International Women's Day. At war or in peace, we need all our talents to live up to the big challenges of our time. Canada knows this well. 8 years ago, when asked why he appointed a gender-equal cabinet, Prime Minister Trudeau replied, "Because it's 2015. As simple as that." And I am proud to lead the first gender-balanced college in the history of the European Commission. And before the end of my mandate, 50% of all managers of the European Commission will be women. Europe knows that men and women bring different perspectives. Diversity leads to better decisions, better societies. Gender equality does not just happen, not even because it's 2023. It requires day-to-day attention and commitment to ensure that women and girls can be free from violence, to ensure that women earn the same as their male colleagues because they deserve it, to ensure that women as well as men can have a career and a family, to ensure that women can reach the very top level because they are qualified. We have a duty to set an example to society and the economy of what a world of fair chances looks like. And this duty counts every day, not just on International Women's Day. My dear friends in this august house, no democracy is perfect. But all democracies are perfectible. This is our mission. And this is what brings us together. It is the mission that has moved generation upon generation of great Canadians and Europeans. They had the audacity to look beyond the imperfection of what is and to see the beauty of what could be. The generation that brought Europe together after 2 world wars and after the fall of the Soviet Union. And the generations that made Canada the inclusive and welcoming country it is today. A country that is proud of its heritage and open to the future. The home of indigenous people as well as newcomers. A place of traditions and innovation, where it does not matter who you are, how you pray, and who you love. Canada, where you can make the most of your life and the best of your community. And this is also my vision of Europe. This is what I work for every single day. So, Canada and Europe, let us walk this path together. Thank you very much.